Okay, so hi guys, it's Tia. Welcome to the channel. So as you can see here, we have Ryan from HOGUE Passive Income. So I'm pretty sure most of you have heard of Ryan, but if you haven't, he's an absolute pioneer in the print-on-demand passive income industry. And I'm sure we'll be hearing a lot of really helpful tips today. So thanks for coming on the channel, Ryan.
Yes, I'm excited to be here. Thank you, Tia.
Yeah, no worries. So, first thing I wanted to ask about is your passive income journey. So, if you don't mind just giving a brief overview of your passive income and print on demand journey and the biggest tips you would have for a beginner.
For sure, happy to. And you know what's funny is like just less than like last Friday, so a couple days ago, I did a video where I just talked about like my life with and without passive income. Because honestly, things weren't going too bad without passive income. It was more or less just that, some of my days would be legitimate, like 14, 15, 16-hour days where, I go to my 9 to 5, then I have a second job teaching at a local university, teaching web development. And like I would get home and I would start working on whatever else, you know what I mean? FBA, merch, YouTube, and I don't miss those days, but I definitely felt fulfilled because I was grinding and making progress. But the that's not what life is about. It's not about like running yourself into the ground, working that hard. So my quality of life now that I don't have to at least work a 9 to 5 anymore, like I still kept the teaching gig, but it's definitely higher. Happiness is higher, I would say, and that's all been a function of passive income. I got started with Amazon FBA shortly after I found out about merch by Amazon, and probably after merch, probably like six or somewhere like 6, 7, 8 months after I learned about merch, I learned that I could sell FBM, print on demand products, on Seller Central. So it's kind of like this very complementary approach to making passive income online. And I never planned on being on YouTube either, but then I'm like, oh wait, I can add some money, some monthly income talking about it. And I like to keep it's logical, right? So that's basically been it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I know one thing you stress on your channel is diversifying and using as many platforms as possible. I would definitely agree on that, and that's something I echo as well on my channel. So I just wanted to ask a bit about Bubble Scout now, because that's how we sort of got in touch. And
Hmm.
it's really useful, that tool, because it basically gives you three websites in one. So I used to go to the trending section on the Redbubble trending page, and then also the popular tags tool. And now that just combines that all in one. So just wanted to know a little bit more on the like development front, how you ended up like making it, and how did you get permission from all the websites and stuff like that? So if you could just explain a bit about that.
For sure, yeah. And what's funny is it's me and my partner who also is on YouTube, but he's like slacking big time. His channel's like I think 200 subscribers because he's not consistent. But he's got plans at some point to help people learn how to build their own Chrome extensions and apps like that. Because he's the back end developer. He's honestly the genius behind our two projects together, which is Bubble Scout and AutomatePod.com. I'm like more like a front end web developer. That's what I did professionally. Like I've got some chops on like back end web development, but I'm not even close to him. He actually, I don't want to say where he works, but like he works for like a Fortune 500 company as a back end
Okay.
developer. Like he's really good, and he's trying to work himself out of that job, but currently still there and doing well for himself as far as like salary goes. I know he makes good money, but it's because he's really good at what he does. But I did like a lot of the front end web development, so like the website, and even though it's not the prettiest website you'll see, it's basically just like a hacked Shopify theme because I can get it done pretty quickly
It
that way.
works. Yeah.
And like the front end on the website too is nothing special, but like the way we inject the tables into Redbubble and we inject the bubbles and whatnot, that's like more or less like my specialty. I'd say more like if anybody knows like more CSS and JavaScripting, like hacking a page that way. So
Okay.
I can't give you a good answer
Yeah.
as far as like how we dug
No,
up
it's
the
fine. A
trends,
brief
but he
overview
could.
is fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for that. So, the next thing I wanted to talk about is Etsy, which is a big part of my passive income journey, and I talk about it a lot on my channel. So, as you'll know, Etsy is absolutely notorious for suspending people without notice, like just randomly. And some of the comments I get are mostly about, I got suspended on Etsy and I can't get my account back. I mean, I've personally got suspended twice, but I've been able to get my accounts back. So what do you think about Etsy, and do you think there might be some issues on the back end with Etsy in terms of that?
Yeah, there's something weird is up with Etsy. Like, there's this website that is like I think it's an ex Etsy employee, and they just post like hate stories about Etsy, but like kind of from the inside. And I have the link somewhere saved, but
Yeah,
it's
I'd like to see
interesting that
that.
it even
Yeah.
exists because they're like got added to the S&P 500 a year ago, so their
Mm.
stock literally doubled just because of that. And I was, yeah. Anyways, but I actually am suspended from Etsy myself now, not for no reason. I know what the issue was. It wasn't that I was like infringing and all this crap. It was that like I would put a tag in that like it's kind of like on Amazon. Like I used to sell this shirt, right? I'll just share the shirt because I don't sell it anymore. It was just a thumbs down, right? So it was like the Facebook like button, but it was like a thumbs down with stripes, and it
Oh,
wasn't
okay.
actually the Facebook button.
Yeah.
So there was nothing wrong at all whatsoever. Didn't have any text, nothing. New York Yankees fans were buying that shirt like crazy because it was like a meme from one of their games in the playoffs one year. So I put the tag Yankees, and just doing that was enough to like get striked on Etsy, even though nothing was wrong. Like there was no infringement at all whatsoever. It was just assisting their algorithm in indexing me on that search term since I knew the fans were buying the shirt. You know, they was also selling really well on Amazon. So that's just like one example of something that I guess I did in air quotes wrong that ultimately led my account to be closed. Also, people can report any listing and just say that they were selling it first, and it's all done algorithmically at scale, so they'll just pull it and strike your account. So
Yeah,
no
that
good.
that example definitely shows how precarious it kind of is. That's why part of the reason why I don't show my accounts, because I'm kind of afraid of random people just
One
targeting.
person that knows how to do it can get your account taken down,
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. It's
So,
quite scary.
yeah.
But yeah, something I've always talked about is like don't rely on Etsy, especially. Well, don't rely on anything, but Etsy especially as your only source of income online.
And
Yeah,
I still think Etsy's worth selling on because like
yeah, yeah.
my girlfriend has her account. So like she's still uploading, like not daily, but like yesterday she spent an hour uploading, you know, and I still kind of like nudge her and I'm like, hey, like get those Etsy uploads done. And I'll send her designs too. So she has a little bit easier. She just goes to Google Drive, downloads them and on her computer and then
Oh,
starts uploading them. But it's like if I've already done the work, here, take them. No one else is selling them. So
yeah, absolutely. It is definitely worth selling on, but yeah, just be careful about it, I guess. So the
yeah.
next thing I wanted to touch on is online courses. So I know you've released quite a lot of online courses that you've worked really hard on. But the thing about online courses for me is some people have asked whether I'm going to release a course, and for me that's just like I don't have enough time, and even if I did, I would sort of be a little bit cautious about it just because of the reputation it's been receiving in the recent years. So and I think that's a real shame because there are some really good online courses that I myself have learned a lot from. So, but it's a shame that like all the scammers are sort of um, ruining the reputation of online courses almost. So, what's your opinion on the impact of online courses in the industry?
Yeah, that's like it's a weird, like kind of taboo subject, and it sucks that it
Mm,
is.
yeah.
And you know what's crazy? I'd mentioned that I had a call before this that went for an hour and a half, right? But literally, the person that I was talking to for an hour and a half said that they found me not because of like all the great like tutorial content that I put out for free. They found me on YouTube because he wanted to learn Amazon FBA, and I did a video exposing Kevin David for faking his FBA sales. There's really no proof
Mm,
that he's ever sold on Amazon. There's no proof. You know what I mean? But we have proof that he's faked his sales. So what does that lead you to believe? And I just
yeah.
like it's a weird story, but I just shared it with somebody else. So I'll share it with you. Like I'm not kidding. The reason I started YouTube and the reason I made my first ever course was Amazon FBA was because of the scammers. Because I'm actually out here doing it for real. Plus, I mean, I, you know, at this point have 7 years teaching experience at the college level. So I actually know how to like teach a little bit, but that shouldn't, by the way, it shouldn't deter anybody if you don't have that experience from starting your own course. You know, I think YouTube is great practice just to get comfortable. And then when you're ready, like if you've got good stuff to share with people, step-by-step tutorials that are going to like help them start their own business or whatever, like why wouldn't you share that? Because anybody who's interested will join and people who aren't won't join. So I don't see what's wrong with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I've seen a CoffeeZilla video on the guy you were mentioning. So
Yeah.
pretty aware of that.
You're not supposed to say his name, right?
Yeah, yeah, you're not supposed to say his name apparently. But yeah, and I just think obviously be careful before buying online courses. I personally have bought some from places like Udemy, just like $10, $20 courses. That is the place that I would recommend. Yeah, that's all I have to say
Yeah,
on that really.
agreed.
Mm,
Yeah, Udemy is a great option, and it's priced affordably.
yeah, or Skillshare. It's basically like YouTube, like anyone can watch courses on it.
Okay, cool.
So
I haven't checked that out yet.
yeah. Yeah, so the next thing I want to touch on is time management as a YouTuber entrepreneur. So I know you do a massive amount of passive income stuff, and you were at one point doing all of this as a web developer as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I obviously have medical school. So at the moment, I'm just sort of listing everything, and as my channel's growing, there's so much stuff coming in, and I'm just like ticking off everything and going as hard as possible. So don't really have any strategies there, and I've been asked about this in comments. So do you have any sort of tips for time management, stuff like that? Maybe your
Yeah.
thoughts on having a VA or editor, delegating, stuff like that.
So I mean, definitely, by the way, like I commend you for like the grind. I've probably been there where you have this like massive influx and it feels like there's not enough time in the day. And you've got med school, whereas like I quit my 9 to 5 job, so things are a little bit more flexible on my end now. Um, as far as time management, it's funny too. I just put together like a course that's completely free. It's free on Udemy and it's free on my rynsmethod.com, and it's just
Yeah,
called
go check
Business
that out. Yeah.
Productivity Hacks. And it's literally just me trying to like share things that I think like mental state, like your perspective on things that I think can really help get ahead. Like before we even started recording this, I was commending you just for going through the grind, and doing it while you're in school. And I said that, I just think of the average person in my life. If I said that I talked to somebody that was in med school but is also on YouTube and also doing all these e-commerce businesses, they would think like, nah, that can't be possible. But it's like as soon as you just free yourself from thinking that, and you just like let the world kind of play out and let life play out, and do the best you can, like you'll open so many doors, and it's freeing almost, because you don't put limitations on yourself. You need to be your own biggest believer. Not you, but you know what I mean. Everybody needs to believe in themselves, right?
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. And I think one thing for me as well is that I genuinely really enjoy it. Like a lot of people ask like how can you do all this stuff at once? And I'm just like, well, med school is really where the work is, to be honest, like if that makes sense. Like that's where the hard work is. And then this stuff is sort of like things I enjoy and I actually want to do. Like I want to get my work done so that I can work on my e-commerce businesses and stuff.
yeah, that's how
Yeah, so
I
that's
felt.
my
I can relate.
motivation for it. Yeah.
Yeah, and as far as like time saving, the biggest thing that I always say, and I know this is like unique to me, but well, two things, right? Like it's an online business, so like I've got my 4 monitors here, and I keep one above too, where it's more or less I just like watch YouTube videos all day, but it helps me like stay entertained, I
Yeah, I
guess,
should
and
get more
stay
monitors,
interested.
definitely.
And
Yeah.
so having a good like setup, that is like optimized for efficiency, like people that use trackpads, I don't think that that's necessarily optimal. Whereas like if you have a mouse, like that's really going to help you. Or if you're on your phone versus a trackpad on a laptop versus like a keyboard and mouse, I know who wins, and the second half of that is just like anything that you do in life, like whether it's on your online business or anything else, like if you're going to do it multiple times, just each iteration, just kind of like in the back of your mind, think about what you can do differently to optimize for efficiency. I know it's kind of like talking like a robot, but yeah, I was a developer professionally, so I do kind of think like a robot in a way. And that's really helped me. I've spent hundreds of thousands of hours on a computer because I've been gaming. I was a big gamer since I was
Yeah,
like
same.
13. That was 20 years ago. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Really helpful advice. So the last thing I wanted to talk about is staying on the YouTube topic. So, do you kind of see much negativity on your channel? Because as my channel's grown, well, most of it is, I would say 99% is like really lovely positive comments. But then there's like 0.5% that's like just absolute trolling whack comments. And then there's like 0.5% that's like constructive criticism, but it's phrased in a really like jarring way. It's like, oh, so do you sort of like even respond to negativity, or is that something that you just don't look at? Or yeah, your thoughts on
What's
that?
weird is like YouTube's anonymous, right? Whereas like Facebook isn't. And on Facebook, it's like almost exclusively positive, but like on YouTube, you're gonna get some negative
Yeah.
comments. And my girlfriend too has like her own. She dabbles in YouTube, and like she'll get some weird ass comments too. So I don't know if it's just like being a girl. I'm just saying that because I don't feel like I see as much of it. And when I do, it's all good, man. Like I have that computer gaming background, so I was expecting things to be way
Yeah,
worse than they
same, not
are.
gonna lie. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I'm perfectly okay
Mm.
with the split. It's largely positive in my experience as well. There's some negative, but it doesn't bother me because I come from a deep computer gaming background, and I've seen the worst that there is. So it's all good.
Yeah, yeah, I can definitely relate to that. So, Yeah, some really helpful tips from Ryan there. Thanks so much for coming on the channel. It's really useful talking to you, and see you soon, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here, and check out our interview on my channel as well.
Yeah, yeah. And go subscribe to Ryan if you haven't done already. Thank you.